The mystery surrounding the stabbing of Saif Ali Khan is deepening. Not just is the attacker still on the run, we now have mounting questions over the motive. These questions have multiplied after the first statement from Saif Ali Khan's wife and well known actor Kareena Kapoor. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo story. Kareena Kapoor has issued her statement of what went down when her husband Saif Ali Khan was stabbed at their residence in Mumbai to the police. This statement, that is now in the public domain, paints a chilling portrait of how Saif Ali Khan tried to save his children, in particular his younger son Jay, from the assaulter who then stabbed Saif Ali Khan 6 times. Despite new CCTV footage, a third video now seems to show the attacker buying a pair of headphones after the attack. The attacker was able to do all of this within an hour at the residence of the Khans and then leave with impunity, raising questions as to how a night watchman didn't stop him from either entering or exiting. Despite these CCTV videos that clearly identify the alleged perpetrator, he has not, at least as of now, been detained. And the pressure is mounting on the Mumbai police, but the questions are multiplying as well. Kareena Kapoor Khan, in her statement, talks about how the attacker repeatedly knifed her husband. She describes his behavior to be highly aggressive. But at the same time, she says that there was jewelry out in the open in the house that the attacker could have taken and did not take. Does this then debunk the robbery theory? Remember, we also have a police statement from the household help, the nanny, Ilyama Philip, who talks about first spotting the intruder with his hands over the mouth, the lips of Saif and Kareena's younger son, Jay. When asked by Miss Phillips as to what he wanted, he said money. When asked how much money, he said 1 crore. But Kareena Kapoor Khan seems to suggest in her statement to the police that while there was an opportunity for this man to run away with jewelry, he does not do this. The mystery deepens. To try and make sense of it, let's introduce our panel today. We also have information coming of one detention in Madhya Pradesh, and we are awaiting more details on that, and we'll share them with you as soon as we have them. Joining us is my old colleague and friend, film journalist Pooja Talwar. Good to see you, Pooja. Also joining us is Dilip Cherian, well-known brand guru, image consultant. Thank you so much, Dilip. And also joining us is veteran IPS officer Yasho Azad. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. I want to start with you, Mr. Azad. There are so many things about this that are not making sense because we don't have enough information, and the Mumbai police has not gone on record with much. I wish they were, in fact, doing some sort of regular press briefings because it would avoid a certain degree of speculation. But we have Kareena Kapoor's statement to the police, and in that statement, she basically says there was jewelry in the house that could have been taken but wasn't, and that this so-called robber eventually leaves without robbing anything. Now, we don't know whether this is because Saif Ali Khan is able to stop him. We don't know whether it's because of the scuffle that his attempts to burgle go wrong, or indeed, as you said from the very first day, that this is not looking like a robbery. This is looking like something else that is targeted. Given Kareena's statement, highly aggressive behavior, man leaves without taking jewelry, man leaves without taking anything, what would you say?
See, there are two or three things which come to my mind. As I maintained yesterday, that this has to be a targeted attempt. Now, targeted attempt, was it targeted attempt for burglary or it was targeted for certain other reasons? Now, I tend to rule out the other reason because if he just wanted to, he had some animosity with Saif and just wanted to shoot him, he could have got a gun. And, these guns are available at, very, very cheap rates. He had a VIP complex. There's a term we call is a VIP complex. People who want to see them, touch them, troll them, stalk them, and be after them. So he was sure that definitely he can get easily 1 crore rupees from him. Secondly, people like this don't go after jewelry because it becomes a nuisance, where to sell them, and then, immediately There are known areas. Police has already their prints and things like that. So money is the easiest thing today. You'll see for any kind of a robbery, they don't take anything else except cash. So in this particular instance, Barkha, I maintain the most critical element is how the hell did he get entry? Forget the watchman, forget the security guards, forget the CCTV. But how did he enter? In every house, even a middle class home,
Yeah.
or now we have CCTVs, right? And CCTVs are for controlling access control. So outside, even whether it's a maid's door which leads to the outside, there is a CCTV which captures. Now, forensic will be able to tell you whether he was able to manipulate the locks or not. So that is one. So that is why I said there are two lines of investigation which are very, very clear. One is actual interrogation of all the people around. And as you rightly said, how can a guy who goes up and after about half an hour or 45 minutes even comes back, nobody sees him? There is no one in the
Yeah.
control, no watchman, no security guard, nobody. That's a very important.
This is the part that is not making sense to me, because I looked at the timestamps, Mr. Azad, on the two CCTV videos. There is a timestamp on the video that shows him entering, and it's about 1:37 in the morning. And then
Yeah,
an hour later, you can see him leaving, and it's about 2:33 in the morning, right? So all of this happens in 1 hour in the middle of
yeah.
the night, not so late. How does he enter without anyone at the gate noticing? Chalo, even if he was already inside the building hiding somewhere. How does
Yeah.
he exit? Does the family not sound an alarm? Do they not say, Roko, someone has, entered our home? How does this man exit the building? I cannot wrap my head around this.
And Rekha, let me tell you two things here. One is that the security in most of the high profile homes are very, very lax. That's number one. And number two, the security guards who work in Mumbai at night are doing moonlighting because they are working during the day at some other place. So they utilize this night watchman duty for sleeping. Most of the places you'll see there is no security at all, and the maintenance is even poor. As somebody said, the intercom was not even working, and even the CCTV, the number of the CCTVs which should have been there, that was also not there. So in all respects, now the last part which you talked about, yes, it does take time, because if some fellow melts into the metro crowd, it will take a while. And that's why I said there are four things very, very important in this. One is a guy who's an expert with using AI tools. Using AI tools in Kerala, they found out a criminal who had done an act 24 years back. We need a forensics expert who's a solid guy who can make out what has happened, what has really not happened. Third is an interrogator who interrogates and finds out properly as to where the gaps are. And fourth is, of course, a solid investigator. Need not be, the great Daya Nayak or whatever as they are,
Yeah.
advertising. That's
Before I open it up, Mr. Azad, if you were in the Mumbai police, would you also be looking at, you spoke about the VIP complex. This is a highly public couple, right? They have been trolled in the past for the name they gave their child. Let's remember that. A Kumar Vishwas video recently sort of trolling them for this choice of name is now viral again. Saif's mother, Sharmila Tagore, has had her own positions on issues. Mr. Khan, along with the extended Kapoor family, has recently met with the Prime Minister. I'm not drawing any causal links. I'm simply saying this is a public family that lives in the public eye. Previously, along with Salman Khan, he has been part of the Black Buck case. So there are also questions about the Bishnoi gang. Do you believe that to look at this as a robbery, given that nothing has been burgled, would be naive at this point?
Well, you see, if I'm doing an investigation, I will leave no part, looked into. There is nothing you should leave out in investigation, and you should work according to your leads, but also according to your surmise. If you think that this particular area should be looked into, why not? Of course. And I know that some of the politicians and some of the cheapsters have trolled the couple, unfortunately, which is really, really
Terrible.
unfortunate. Let me tell you another thing, that Saif has turned out to be not only a real life hero, but a real life hero. The way he fought the guy to save his kids, that's admirable. And the way he went in an auto himself and announced that he's a Saif Ali Khan. So in that respect, as far as my investigation go, I mean, I would go hell bent to find out the killer, because he has attacked an innocent man, and everything shows that with the kind of his mugshot we have got, sooner or later this guy is going to be caught. Of course, people are under
Yeah.
pressure, and police is also under pressure.
Yes, and a detention has been made in Madhya Pradesh, but we don't have more information. So we are being careful about drawing conclusions. Dilip, as I get you in, Prasad Duburi, one of our regular Mojo members, says, who opened the 12th floor door? There is some speculation that he entered through a bathroom shaft. Was this door broken into? Was he in the apartment when he was negotiating ransom? Yes, it seems so. That's the account of the nanny. Why did the others not call the police? Right now, one of the things that's happening, I believe the Mumbai police should have gone on record with whatever they know for sure up until this point, because there's extraordinary amount of speculation, conspiracy theories, what could have happened, what didn't happen. What are the mounting questions in your mind that are very puzzling and making no sense?
Let's start with the image of the Bombay police. In my view, I'm guessing that Mr. Azad will back me up. It is important that the police work with certain guidelines and norms and not have too much out in the public domain, because it is likely that that might compromise whatever the end result of the investigation is. So I would say it is good to have caution on their part, rather than, there's that famous case a few years ago where they were spewing and spilling everything out on an hourly basis. I think that case has probably taught them that that is not the way to conduct an investigation. As far as
Correct.
the image of the couple goes, and as far as the image of the Sher fighting the lone attacker, I think the big questions, Barkha, are about entry, what happened, what was the conversations that took place there, and the fact that you have a situation where after the injury, he goes off alone in a three-wheeler. Yes, the mother's first job was to make sure that the child who's been traumatized by seeing what happened was actually made at ease, rather than having the child also go completely crazy. But I think that what to me looks a little off in the whole framework of things is that people don't understand that this is the situation in which the security of Bandra in general is.
Yeah.
Most of these homes, most of these flats, these high rises have one security guard at night. Now, the fact of not having CCTV is again bizarre, because for the kinds of homes that would be there in a building where the Khans decide to stay and have a multiplex of flats,
Yeah.
it is unbelievable that there would not be in the corridors more CCTVs, because it's basic. It's security 001, and
Yeah.
I just can't understand that happening. And today, a lot of the speculation is based on the fact that people don't know what actually happened in terms of the ingress into the flat, and what happened as far as the maid is concerned. This whole screaming for ransom business to me sounds almost filmy, to excuse my
Why do you say that?
because
This is the lady. This
I,
is the
I
lady
have
in
not,
question who gives the. Yeah. Why do you say that?
to my in my memory, I don't see an intruder trying to get ransom on the spot with other. There's the maid, there's other family members by then, and it's not the point in time where he's going to bargain for a ransom. There's something, to my mind, that sounds distinctly odd.
Yeah. So, which is why I do wish the police would come forth and tell us what they've been able to understand so far, because it's leaving us to fill in the gaps in the information. The auto rickshaw driver, for instance, he has given his own testimony. He says at first he didn't recognize Saif Ali Khan. He says there was a child and another person. That other
Adult,
person assumed to
male.
be Ibrahim, Saif's elder son. But why would Saif take his young child to hospital? The doctors have verified that Saif Ali Khan came with his child. Maybe he thought the child was hurt. Maybe he thought the child was hurt. Maybe he thought the child needed the doctors to look at him. There's so much we don't know. Just before I'm going to come to Pooja, I'm going to play out a short clip of the auto rickshaw driver who ferried Saif Ali Khan to hospital. Take a look.
ये क्या वाक्य हुआ सैफ अली खान के साथ वो बताइए।
मेरा नाम है भजन सिंह राणा और जैसे कि मैं जा रहा हूँ नाइट में गाड़ी चला रहा हूँ 2-3 बजे की बात है और सब गलियों में जाते हुए देख रहा हूँ तो एक लेडी हाथ दे रही है उसको रिक्शा गेट से भी आवाज़ आ रही है रिक्शा बहुत आवाज़ आ रही है और उसके बाद जैसे योजन मारता हूँ गाड़ी गेट पे लगाता हूँ तो एक शख्स निकलता है पूरा जब खोल से उसके साथ 2-4 बंदे भी और भी रहते तो लेडीज भी रहती तो उसके बाद बैठाया जाता है रिक्शे में बैठाया जाता फिर बोलता किधर छोड़ने का लीलावती जाओगे या वली फैमिली जाओ तो करने के बाद उसके बाद बोल रहे लीलावती तो उसमें छोड़ता हूँ मुश्किल से 4-5 मिनट लगता है उनको छोड़ने में तो मैं डायरेक्ट उनको लीलावती लेके जाता हूँ उनको छोड़ता हूँ उसके बाद बोलते कि मैं सैफ अली खान हूँ साथ को बुलाया जाता है उनको पूछा जाता है फिर उसके बाद बोलते कि मैं सैफ अली खान हूँ ये सब तब मुझे पता चला कि ये सैफ अली खान है।
And while all of this is happening, Pooja, he has a knife stuck in his back, in his spine, or near his spine, and that the image of what they actually take out is very dramatically then shown. This is what they extract from Saif Ali Khan's spine. It is just. There's so many things about this that are in the realm of the surreal. One of our viewers says, is it possible the attacker was unstable and possibly a stalker? Celebrities who live public lives are vulnerable to stalking, especially when their family members are also in the spotlight. This is something that Mr. Azad touched upon. There is also unverified reports by some media houses today, Yasho, pointing to another CCTV footage that seems to suggest that this guy was lurking about earlier, also outside the apartment, trying to steal shoes that belong to Saif Ali Khan. This is the video that's been released. It's all very odd. Pooja, what are you picking up in the film fraternity? There must be just a sense of complete terror, complete vulnerability. But also this is getting swiftly politicized, which also makes it tougher for actors all around. What are you picking up?
Absolutely. And also, Barkha, because recently you had Raveena Tandon when, somebody tried to extort money from her and her daughter saying that her driver had run over them. And also it's the pap culture because, special teams are deployed by the paparazzi to document these kids from the time they start, they leave their home for school. They come back, the birthday parties they go to, everything is documented because apparently these kids get them numbers. Then also you had Saif Ali Khan's previous, Taimur's Nanny, who sat on a podcast across multiple channels documenting her time with the family, and also there are many times when you have Kareena or whether it's Taimur saying, stop, don't shoot me, they're trolled, and this family is extremely social. They even put up pictures of their home. So it's under constant scrutiny. You don't realize the sharing thing actually has, many don't want their kids to be papped at all, but you're leaving the digital footprints. It could be anybody lurking, a stalker, just somebody unstable, just thinking ki, mujhe rasta mil gaya hai. Also, there is a sense of vulnerability and insecurity amongst the fraternity because recently you had Baba Siddiqui's case, and Salman Khan has now put up bulletproof windows and, cordoned off his balcony. So there is this fear because you really don't know who is who. Though I would say, Kareena and Saif have been very social and non-controversial as such, but I often see the kids are so popular, and I've actually feared for these kids because no one spares them. No one spares these kids. And now it's their cousin Raha. They're constantly papped, and then the parents are criticized if they tell the paparazzi, please don't shoot our kids. So, they're damned if they do, they're, not damned if they don't.
This is a very important point you've raised. Dilip, I want you to come in before I go back to policing questions. So if you live in the age of the paparazzi, right, and literally even this night was papped. There is a viral video of Kareena Kapoor in her pajamas arguing with what seems to be household help, with an auto rickshaw that people have surmised might be that auto rickshaw. This video, like, like every aspect of these people's lives is documented, including their very young children. But I do remember Dilip speaking with both Kareena and Sharmila on record about what it was like to live through those months when Taimur and the parents were trolled for naming him Taimur, and she said to me that it was ghastly. She was scarred. This is Kareena. Sharmila has gone on record about the kind of hate that was directed towards this couple. Now, again, I am not drawing a link. I mean, maybe this was a stalker, maybe this was an obsessed fan, maybe this was someone with the VIP syndrome, maybe this was a burglar, maybe this was Bishnoi gang. I have no idea. But how do we ignore the fact that there has also been hate directed at the couple just for their choice of name for their child?
I think this goes far beyond that. I think the Pat issue is a bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. The actors and the actresses and their families all love it as much as they like to whine about it. If they really wanted it stopped, I'm sure that the Bombay police would have acted long time ago. It is just not correct. It's great to whine about. It's important that children be kept out of it. And that is really the realm of editors. But in this competitive age, Barkha, I'm not going to get into a fisticuff over whether the pap culture is legit or not. Today, everybody with a phone in their hands becomes a pap.
True.
Many of these things are actually sold to people who are paps, and they buy them because they want to use that stuff. So that's the first part. The other part is that I think that initially there was talk about the fact that the person's entry may have been facilitated by one of the house staff. That, I think, is something that the police have probably gone deeper into and are choosing to keep shut about. So I think that we will get more clues from this, because to my mind, this is not about a barefoot burglar coming up the stairs, partially masked, sometimes choosing to be unmasked, all of that. I think there's more to the story, and I'm quite sure that the police have a lot more than they are giving us to understand. As I said, the episode with the police and actors turned completely toxic just a couple of years ago. So I think that the police are being far more careful and circumspect. Yes, it is leading to speculation of the wildest kind, including the communal angle, which is a very sad angle, as Mr. Azad said. And I think that besides that, there seems to be all kinds of issues about the security layout of Mumbai, especially Bandra, which has become an extremely high-profile neighborhood. If the chap wanted to attack Saif, I know that he walks to a bookshop quite close by. I mean, there must be multiple opportunities for them to get him on the street, because this is a man who does not have the kind of overwhelming security cover that 3 or 4 of the other big-named actors
Absolutely
have. Yeah,
Absolutely.
They try to live fairly normal lives, and that is unique and poses its own set of problems. But not having CCTVs, unforgivable.
Absolutely. Yasho, from a policing perspective, what are the weirdest gaps in information thus far?
But let me add, because already Pooja and Dilip have made some very, very pertinent points regarding this. From the odd points you have asked me what they are. One of the oddest point is that when this guy is going up, you can see that he's sort of looking around. Okay, he's going for something, anticipation. But when he's coming back, he's pretty calm. I wanted to see some.
Can we play that video? He's got his mask off and he's like sauntering. He's not even running. The chap is, ye dekhiye, ye to matlab quite laid back.
Yes, and no sign of any scratch, scruffle, blood on his face.
Yeah.
And he appears very normal. So That's one of the things which really is coming into my mind again and again. The other thing, I totally agree with you, Barkha, that while the police should not let out the details of the investigation, but in high-profile cases where there is a lot of public attention, it's important for them to come once a day and give the broad things. Okay, we are trying to get this guy. We know something about him, or we don't know anything about him as yet. We are appealing to the public and things like that, so that it sort of settles the mind of the public also, and they don't speculate unnecessarily. The other point which I've again support Dilip, that even an ordinary house has CCTV these days, Barka. And if you see in Noida, we have better security arrangements for every ordinary building than what we are talking about there. The other point of moonlighting by the security guards is a very serious problem in Mumbai, because most of the security guards are coming at night just to sleep. Because they work during the day. That's another critical thing. And the other point which I always maintain is that celebrities are targeted everywhere. And I totally agree with Dilip when he says, when you want, some of these photographs are sold, some of these photographs, I know people in Delhi also, they to come on the third page, they do all kinds of things. So in this particular case, I would say that the CCTV footage, which is not available of the guy just before he enters or from the corridors, is the most odd thing I have ever heard, because even for ordinary accidents and ordinary ingress into buildings, we are having CCTV footage facility. In fact, Barkha, to tell you, just before the elections, one of the candidates near my house has got some kind of a threat. And the policeman came the other day and informed me, sir, we are putting, CCTV around this. So it's as common as that. So these are some of the very odd things which I'd like to find out in my investigation, why this has happened. And the last point which I want to make is that there has to be a coordination, because I understand that the police cannot be, coming to every house and guarding the place. But what about calling the police patrol? What about calling the flying squad? What about drivers at night? What are having a personal security guard at night? These are issues which really need to be
Absolutely. Pooja, before I give Dilip the last word, just, what are you picking up from the fraternity? Like, is everybody now reviewing their security to start?
Absolutely. And as many actors also said, they're very vulnerable. And as Mr. Azad and Dilip also said, that we love seeing them, and the paparazzi culture, even they like being seen, but now there is a sense of insecurity. They want their security to be upgraded, and the same thing, they just need protection. And everyone's called out the security lacks in Bandra, which is the place which houses all these celebrities, whether it's Salman, Shah Rukh, all of them live in Bandra and Pali Hill style. So there is a sense of insecurity as well as anxiety amongst the fraternity. And everyone just wants, these dots to be back. So, you know exactly what's happened. Is it political? Is it motivated? Does it have a kidnapping motive, as many people feel it could have been? So there are a lot of questions that are yet to be answered.
Dilip, what's the one question, since you found the ransom account not fully detailed? Let's say that you said it's too filmy, we don't have enough information. Yet that's the theory right now. That's the working theory, that this chap comes in with a knife, he wraps his hand around the child, screams happen, Saif barges into the room, a scuffle follows, the guy stabs him, he runs away. But as Yasho says, when you see him walking, he's not even running out. He's walking out. He's not even fleeing. So just like, it's also peculiar, unless he's a staffer at this building itself and he's known to everybody there, and therefore he knows his way about, he knows the back alleys, he knows how to get out, he knows everybody, he thinks he can do it under the radar. What leaps out at you as a closing thought?
The knowledge that there was expected to be 1 crore in cash at Saif's house. It's not a small amount. I'm not saying that actors don't have large amounts of cash in their homes, but 1 crore is not the kind of sum that you have involved in most robberies. It goes into lakhs unless you're a jeweler or or a trader of that kind. And, this to me indicates that somebody inside had told this guy that there is a whole bunch of cash lying here. You will be able to access that. And I think that the police obviously are smart enough to have figured it out. But for him to attempt to hold a child and to demand 1 crore in cash means that there has to be an inside angle to whatever has happened. And we need to have that also clarified eventually.
All right, we leave it there. We're waiting to see what the detention in Madhya Pradesh is. There was a false report of a breakthrough yesterday where initially it was reported that an arrest had been made. So we are being a little slow in saying that there's been a breakthrough. We know there's been one detention in Madhya Pradesh. Is it linked to this case? We don't know yet. Thank you for raising pertinent questions. As always, Mr. Yashovardhan Azad, Pooja Talwar, Dilip Cheryl, always a pleasure to our audience. Thank you. See you soon. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.